TheTexasDeacon here. Thank you for joining me. Today's lesson is Christian Survivalist, part number 5, home canning. And to start with, we're going to read from the scripture. We're going to read Genesis chapter 41, verses 35 through 37. And let them gather all the food of those good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of the Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. Then that food shall be as a reserve for the land for the 7 years of famine which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land may not perish during the famine. That the land, that's the land of Egypt, shall not perish during the time of famine. So the advice was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. Joseph is the one that was telling the Pharaoh what to do, because God had laid on his heart what had to be done to save Egypt. In the 1950s, when I grew up, canning was just a way of life. We canned at home. Seemed like all summer long we were always canning something. I'm sure it wasn't that way, but it seemed that way. We'd always be gathering from the garden and washing and peeling and canning, putting them into cookers. Here's a couple of items. Some tomatoes. Some peas. These tomatoes are just a year or two old, and if I understand it correctly, tomatoes are very high acidic and are not good to be canned, are not good very long after you can them. I don't know that to be true. Other items are, these peas here were canned in 1984. I have about a half a dozen jars left from the 1984 canning. About 5 years ago, I ate a jar of them. They're still good. At least they were then. Canning, to me, is extremely simple. Of course, I grew up doing it, and like everything else, what you know how to do is easy, and what you don't know how to do is hard. And in this few minutes that I have, I am not going to be able to teach you how to be an expert canner. What I hope to do is just to get you interested enough that you will do your research, talk to people, usually older people that can, or go online or read a book or something. These are the lids. These are the key to canning. This is nothing more than a pot that you would put water in, and after you have put the vegetables into the jar, put them in there raw, and some water. You put it in here, you fill it with water, and you boil it for how long it takes on a particular vegetable that you're cooking. This one wouldn't be quite tall enough for a quart, so you need a little taller container. And the vegetable will cook inside the jar. Now, of course, there are pressure cookers, but as I said, I'm trying to keep the cost down low. And if you have a pressure cooker, fine. I own 2 of them. One of them I would trust. One of them is too old. But they're not that expensive, I think, between $35 to $50, something in that price range. I haven't priced them. My personal belief is that if you have to pay retail for the things you're going to can, you're probably better off just to go on ahead and buy the commercially canned food. What you want to do is be able to get your product for free or as close to free as possible. But even if you don't plan on doing any canning, it'd be good to learn and good to know how to can, because that'd be a skill that you might could pass on to other people someday. I have this discovered what I call the Achilles heel. The little problem with canning. These little things right here. I checked 7 different stores, and I'll share the prices they wanted for 12 of these. $1.97 is the cheapest I found. I found another store for $2.22, and another store for $2.44. The larger one, this is the wide mouth jar, they wanted $2.97 for them at one store, and one store had wanted a dozen rings and lids. They wanted $4.84, and one store, all they did is stock a couple dozen complete units like this. One rule about lids. The rule is they can only be used once. Now, of course, there's an exception to every rule. We all know this. If you're canning jelly that's going to be used in the next year or so, you can put a used lid on it if you have to. I wouldn't unless I had to, but you can do that, because jelly doesn't have to be pressurized. Now, once you have emptied a jar, you wash it real good, and you don't throw the lid away. You keep it, and you put it back together. So when you get ready to use it again, you know where the ring is. You got to have the ring. And there won't be spiders, bugs, or rats living in your jar that you're going to put the food in that you're going to eat. Now, as I said, the cost of these are a little pricey. However, be advised, put a few dozen lids away for hard times. You just might need them someday, and you cannot can without them. I shared with you the prices, the high prices that I found when I tried to buy them at the retail market. If anyone out there knows how we can buy them or order them, probably from China, I'm sure these things are made in China, at a much cheaper price than $2 a dozen, please let me know on my website, and I will share it with everyone. We would all appreciate it, okay? So have fun learning how to can, and I hope that what little information I have given you here today will help you get started, okay? May God bless America. May God bless the Republic of Texas. And may God bless you and yours.